It's an honour to serve under your chairmanship. And as Mr. Bennett said in Pride and Prejudice, for what do we live but to make sport for our neighbours and laugh at them in our turn? So I'd like to thank my constituency neighbour and honourable friend from Basingstoke for securing this debate today. And I thought his speech was absolutely excellent, not just on the history of Jane Austen's life, but how relevant her works are today, when we look at them through sort of structural inequality and also how pioneering they were in their time. It was a very good speech, so I congratulate him for that. The honourable member has already talked about the links that Jane Austen has to my constituency in Winchester. She is buried in Winchester Cathedral. Jane Austen, she is an immense source of pride for all of us in Hampshire. Everyone's claiming their little section of her life, but particularly in Winchester. She moved in 1817 and subsequently spent her final days there. She lived in number 8 College Street, which, to celebrate 250 years since her birth, Winchester College opened this to the public over the summer. This is a mere 5 minutes from the cathedral, a site that many of us here will have visited, and where many people come from all over the world purely to visit Jane Austen's headstone. And it's a site where brilliant volunteers are brimming with knowledge about Jane Austen's life in and around Winchester. It's also the same street, just a couple of doors down from P.G. Wells' bookshop, which is one of the longest continually operating bookshops in the UK. Very beautiful, and she was probably one of their most famous customers, and they still sell beautiful collector's editions of Jane Austen in the store. So the Cathedral and Hampshire Cultural Trust and many other local groups and businesses have put on excellent events and exhibitions to commemorate the 250 years of Jane Austen this year. I'd like to thank everyone involved for their hard work, and everyone is very welcome to visit. Because the more we learn about Jane Austen, the greater our admiration becomes for a woman of such wit, skill and literary prowess. And through her work, we enter the mind of a young woman in a society where we'd not usually have heard this voice. And it's not just any voice, it's bold, it's witty, it's ironic, it's very funny. And Austen brings us a voice that had hitherto been sidelined, and yet when we give it centre stage, we can see it for all its incredible qualities. There's a sharp and honest sense of humour, clear-minded understanding of people and society, and emphasis on the importance of taking pleasure in a good novel. That should be an inspiration to us today, particularly at a time when the proportion of the UK population for which reading for pleasure has been decreasing significantly. Austen delighted in the ridiculous and was never one to take life too seriously, writing in Mansfield Park, "Let other pens dwell on guilt and misery." And as we celebrate Austen's immense cultural legacy, I hope that this joy and amusement in the society of others will continue to inspire and enlighten us today. And I remember when I was younger, my mother and my 2 younger sisters used to watch the BBC adaptation of Pride and Prejudice from the 90s on loop for about a decade, and I think I can still quote nearly every single line from it, so I should thank them for making me appear more cultured than I actually am. As Lizzie Bennett says, think only of the past as its remembrance gives you pleasure, and it's with great pleasure, fondness and admiration that we celebrate the life and works of Jane Austen. Thank you.